What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this, I want to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some big news that just came out involving some earnings, what the market is going to likely do going into tomorrow, and why NIO went absolutely parabolic today as we're up 12% for the day. But before I break into devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, NIO is up 12% for the day, getting a monstrous move to the upside. It also managed to break above its 20 EMA and the 50 EMA as well. But the question is, why did this happen? I'll be talking about this in just a couple of minutes. Let me first talk about the markets real quick and some big data before I break down the charts for the markets in NIO. So, firstly, we just had Snap's earnings that just came out. This thing made a monstrous move. And don't forget that for tomorrow, before the market opens, we have Alibaba's earnings, not to mention PayPal and Disney after the market closes for tomorrow. But for today, Snap just announced their earnings. And this is absolutely insane because Snap is down 30% on revenue miss and light guidance, as the company says that the Middle East basically created all this headwind. So that's basically what they're saying so far. It is what it is. I can't really take any sides here and there. I just wanted to say the truth in a very unbiased manner, but that's what they're essentially saying. And what else has been going on is the revenue did rise 5% in the fourth quarter, but the net loss narrowed to 14%. However, their guidance was kind of weak. They're telling us about the current things going on around the world that are affecting them and factors like that. So EPS was just okay. Revenue was a little bit short. Their global active users was better than expected. Everything else was like kind of okay, but their guidance was very, very weak, not what Wall Street was expecting. And they're basically saying it has to do with things around the world. So it is what it is. It's not the best of news, but Snap is down 30%. Now, will this affect the market much? In my opinion, not that much, because you have to remember that Snap is nothing compared to a company like Microsoft or like an Apple out there. So, could it affect the market to some small extent? Maybe, but it's not going to be much. I'm not expecting this to affect it that much. It's not going to be much compared to like a Tesla or something like that. So, it is what it is. And hopefully, Snap tries to get a bounce later on, but so far it's going to be tanking. So, get prepared for that. NIO, the last thing I saw on their Twitter page is just their deliveries. Now let's talk about the news affecting them. NIO has been doing very, very well in terms of staying above the 10,000 delivery mark, and hopefully this continues as time goes on. For the markets, there's not really much data coming out, by the way. We have exports and imports data coming in an hour before the market opens. Then just a bunch of Fed speakers starting at 11 a.m. We have Collins, Barkin, and all these other Fed speakers. And that's pretty much it. We have Bowman as well. So a couple of Fed speakers, then just some exports and imports data in the morning. For NIO, going back to this, NIO is up 10% today for many different reasons. One of them is there's a lot of promising announcements coming from the Chinese financial regulators. They're basically coming out, and this is the Chinese Security Regulatory Commission. It's planned to motivate institutional investors to hold onto common stock for longer, and they're going to be doing a lot of things to help improve their businesses, help them gain support. And on top of this, they mentioned right over here that they're going to be working on their regulations to help improve the stock performances. That's a very, very good sign for companies like NIO. That's good news for many Chinese tickers out there. We saw a lot of them bounce off this news, and that was some good news. But there's also another good piece of news that came out. NIO's insurance registrations have come out. We're at 3,100 for the last week. Basically, the week ending for February 4th. So it's basically like the last couple of days of January going to the first 4 days of February. And you could see, let me just find where NIO's part is. They did relatively well. We actually saw a little increase right over here during the week. It is a little bit down from the week before, but still pretty decent looking numbers. And with the regulatory changes, that had a bigger effect on NIO. These numbers were not too bad for NIO, though. You guys can see that there's a slight increase right here. We're doing a lot better than what we were doing towards the very beginning of January. So far, so good for NIO. NIO also saw about 88 million in volume. That's above average. And on top of this, the short volume relative to price is starting to drop a little bit. Bank of America Securities still has a neutral rating on NIO, but the price price ratio is bouncing because NIO is gaining some strength. We also tend to see green about 55% of the time on Wednesdays. It's one of the strongest days of the week, and we'll see how things go. So, what do I see for the share price? Honestly, guys, if we run this hard in a single day, it's likely we're not just going to start tanking after one day. We're going to be looking for a back test of the 50 EMA. We might see NIO fall a little bit back down to 5.89 to 5.9. So it might drop 10 to 15 cents. And we might see a bounce after that and a push back up towards the next resistance level, which is going to be where this wall is at 6.2. So look for a little back test of the 50 EMA, then a bounce. We could continue a little bit higher. Now, am I a big bull for NIO for the long term? Yes, I am. But for the medium term, do not rule out the possibility of downside again. This does not mean NIO is in the clear. This could just be a temporary move to the upside. I just want to be honest and pragmatic. So it is what it is. NIO could push a little higher, so watch for that. SPY is also looking bullish because despite coming down today, we actually got a nice bounce, rolling up nicely. We're still on a very nice uptrend. We're going to be looking for a nice push tomorrow. I think that because SPY is holding above 491 very, very nicely, it's a very good chance it's going to continue to keep pushing. But if anything, if this thing wants to continue pushing, we need to see it hold above this support right over here and then continue to get up to this 496 area. I think there's a very good chance SPY will reach this and eventually try to break its all-time high. So the chart looks bullish and we'll be looking for a push towards 496 plus for tomorrow. Tesla is showing life. We got a little bounce that's coming. If we keep holding up and we continue to maintain this level, we're going to be looking for 191 to be tested soon. Tesla's looking a little bullish, but we have to be watching for this test of the resistance. I think Tesla's trying to get a rebound, especially thanks to the Chinese regulations that were announced. And this is actually going to benefit Tesla to some extent. Also, Tesla was due for a bounce after dropping so hard, so it is what it is. For Apple, Apple's looking a little bit bullish. Got a nice looking inverse head and shoulders like structure. Going to be looking for a push towards this imbalance into the 190s. I think we're going to be looking for 190 very soon on Apple. It looks bullish for now. The triple Q, not the strongest thanks to Nvda, but it's holding above its 20 EMA. If we hold above this, we'll be looking for a rebound towards this 430 area. It's a little tight up here, so you want to be careful. But the resistance is very tough, so we're going to see if this thing can try to make its way back up. Could be looking for a temporary push up. And finally, for Nvidia, Nvidia is barely holding the 20 EMA. We're going to be watching to see if we could hold 666 to 667. If we hold this, we could try to rebound a little bit. We have some tough resistance at 700. That's where things are getting tougher. We'll see if Nvidia kind of comes back down to 666 and then bounces and starts pushing back up towards the 690 plus zone. We could try to back test 700 again, then reject. So I think it might pop a little bit, retest this, then pop, and come back down and trade sideways. But I think some green is still a possibility. So that being said, that's it for Nvidia, the QQQ, Apple, SPY, and Tesla, and these others. And as far as NIO goes, we're looking a little bullish temporarily. We could push higher. We might backtest our 50 EMA at 5.8 and then start pushing up higher to 6.2 plus, and maybe even higher levels than that. If we keep breaking out, 6.6 will be our next target if we break 6.2. And if we get above that, 6.9 is going to be our next target above 6.6. So we look bullish. We're going to be looking for a nice balance. Make sure you watch your levels carefully and do what you have to do. Thank you for listening, guys. Have an absolutely spectacular rest of the day. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you. NIO to the moon because the long term is still incredibly bright alongside for the whole market. And peace out.